What's poppin'? YouTube, it's Sydney. That's island with a Y, not an S. And I hope the camera angle is okay. Okay, yeah, it's all good. Alright, y'all, as you can tell by the title, this video is all about Venus in Taurus. Okay, so let's start off by saying if you have your Venus in Taurus, you're going to have either of these sun signs. You're going to either be a Taurus sun, a Pisces sun, an Aries sun, a Gemini, or a Cancer sun. So let's talk about planet Venus and what it is all about. Planet Venus is the planet of love, romance, beauty. It's how you behave when you're in love. It's how you attract people in love, and who attracts you in relationships, and the kind of romantic partner you are. Okay? So planet Venus rules Taurus and Libra. So if you have your Venus in Taurus, this is a good placement. This is a very good placement because Taurus is at home with Venus and Venus is at home with Taurus. What that means is that you understand love. You understand how to embody love, and you understand how to give love. And let's not say you always know how to receive love, because sometimes you don't, having a Venus in Taurus. You give love, a lot of love, and you need a lot of love, right? But you may not always know how to receive that love, because sometimes people have a Venus in Taurus. Sometimes they don't see themselves as worthy when they're not in a romantic relationship. Venus in Taurus, this being at home, this can make you lucky in love. You know, you maybe not like right off the bat in your early years. And God, it's hot. I need to turn the fan on. Having a Venus in Taurus be at home in this placement, it makes it easier for you to draw wealthy partners towards you. You know, the rich people are attracted to you. The people who have a higher status are attracted to you. You don't have to work really hard like, say, a Venus in Aries or Venus in Scorpio. You don't have to go through all this struggle to be able to get a beautiful, wealthy, successful partner. You just attract that type of energy, okay? Because you give off this air of royalty. You even if you're broke, poor, you give off the air that you're rich, okay? So rich people are attracted to you, and so it's easy for you to get into the crowd of, you know, rich people and people who are successful and celebrities. It's easy for you to get around people like that. I know a guy who is a Taurus sun with a Venus in Taurus, and this is true for him. He just attracts important people. He attracts, okay, now everybody's important. Okay, everybody's important. But in the sense of status, he attracts people who have a higher status and people who are in demand. I've noticed this with him. He just attracts people who are very successful. And he himself is always striving for that success. People who have a Venus in Taurus is always striving for success. They're always striving to be the best of the best. They're always striving to have the most money, like a Venus in Capricorn. Very similar. But Venus in Taurus is a little different than Capricorn because they're a little less rigid. Venus and Capricorn people, they can stand to be single. You know, they will literally withhold relationships out of feeling unworthy. But Venus in Taurus hates being single, okay? They need a partner. Not, of course, all Venus and Taurus people are not going to be this way, but a lot of Venus and Taurus people, they do not like being single for too long. It affects their self-worth when they're single for too long. They feel as though there's something wrong with them. It makes them feel depressed. It doesn't make them feel right. They're most happy is when they're in a stable relationship. And speaking of stability, Venus and Taurus people crave that shit in relationships, okay? They need a stable partner, a partner who is mentally stable, a partner who is reliable, okay? Venus and Taurus people do not do well with unreliable, undependable, unpredictable partners. Partners who are too impulsive and random and too spontaneous. They don't really like that very much unless they have a more spontaneous sun sign like Gemini, for example. They'll be more open to that spontaneity, right? But if you're that double Taurus, being with a partner who just wants to just do so much, and like you feel that they're not giving you enough of what you need. Venus and Taurus people, they have needs. They do. Physical needs, to be exact. They really would love for you to touch them a lot and caress their bodies. Sex is huge for Venus and Taurus. They love sex. They can't be in a relationship without having sex. They love massages, you know, back massages and all types of just body massages. They're very, very touchy-feely. They love to cuddle. They love fluffy, soft blankets and fluffy rugs. You know, I'm a Taurus sun, so I have this cute little fluffy pink rug on my floor. Like, I love, you know, nice, comfortable fabrics and things. You know, I'm very texture specific. Venus and Taurus people are very texture specific. They also are huge on home decor. They really decorate their houses in a really nice, you know, fancy way. Their houses, a lot of times on the inside, it looks expensive. Okay, Venus and Taurus people, they look expensive. Even when they're poor, they look expensive, and they like expensive things. And when they do have money, they spend it. Okay, they spend it on beautiful things. But that's not to say that they're irresponsible with money, because these people often are not. They often like to save their money and can be very frugal, but once they have the money that they feel they need to buy the thing that they've been wanting to buy, they'll just throw all their money away and get that thing. They can be very when, especially in their younger years, very immature with money, and they spend a lot of money and they get a lot of materials, and then they'll get a little older and they'll realize that that was just really stupid, and that they need to save their money. Okay, because money is very serious to a Venus and Taurus, because the planet Venus is all about money, you know. So money is huge for them. They need to make a lot of it, you know. People have Venus and Taurus. You take it slow. You take it real slow in relationships. You know, you're real cautious. You don't want too much of any funny business. You know, mind games don't really rub you the right way. As soon as you feel that somebody is playing some mind games with you, or they're really not in it to win it with you, they're not trying to do the whole long-term relationship thing, you'll run away. You prefer not to be with people who can't commit, people who just always trying to play with your heart. Like, your heart is very sensitive, very, very sensitive. You're very, very sensitive to the people that you date, because relationships is very important to you, because the planet Venus is all about relationships, and that's your ruling Venus, that's your ruling planet. So it really affects you when you date a person who has a negative vibration, or somebody who caused a lot of trauma, or, you know, something like that. It really affects you. There's some people who, when they break up, they just get over it, they move on. But Venus and Taurus, they're the type to be really sad about their breakups, and it lasts for a long time. You know, relationships, it really, 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 like, affects Venus and Taurus people deeply. Relationships are very important to a Venus and Taurus, okay? And it can get to a point where they can be melancholic and depressed if their relationship life is not the way that they want it to be. They're always analyzing their relationship life. They're always trying to see what can they do to have the best relationship life, and what can they do to satisfy their partner, and what can they do to feel appreciated. Because I've noticed that people who have a Venus and Taurus don't always feel appreciated. They give a lot. They give a lot of love. They give a lot of gifts. They're always trying to help their friends out. When their friends is in a crisis, they're always there to help them. Somebody call them on the phone and you know, with a problem, and they're always trying to help them to get out of that problem. But they end up feeling deeply unappreciated, because not a lot of people give as much as they do. You know, they give so much, and some people just aren't wired that way. You know, some people just, they may not even notice that you're giving so much. You know, they may just take it for granted. You know, and they're like, oh, I'll just call Venus and Taurus. You know, they're always willing to help me, and, you know, and then they calling you up and like, yo, I need some help, and they know that you're going to, you know, help them. So with Venus and Taurus, I would say that you definitely need to create boundaries, and also stand up for yourself and speak out and say, hey, like, this is what I need. I'm always trying to help you with your needs, so you should try to help me with my needs. You know what I'm saying? And just point out the things that you do for people, because people don't always see that shit. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes. Y'all, I've been making mad notes for these videos, okay? So, Venus and Taurus, you're very loyal and you're very dedicated to your partner. Not only are relationships really important to these people, but friendships are also very important. Networking is very important, especially if you have Gemini in your chart. Networking is very important to you, Venus and Taurus. You find it very important to always have importance, I'm putting the quote fingers, y'all, the quote fingers. You always feel that it's imperative that you have important people in your social circle. You're always just trying to get into the, you know, the VIP and all that type of stuff, and it's like, you're not necessarily trying to get into it, you do get in there, because you're a Venus and Taurus, and you have this charisma about you, and this charm about you, that makes people just want to do shit for you. It makes people want to help you. It makes people want to be around you, and they see you as this beautiful, popular, charismatic person, and so they're always inviting you places. You get invited to a lot of places. voices, and you make friends very easily because you just have this charisma about you. You may also have a very comforting speaking voice because Taurus placements typically have very relaxing, melodious speaking voices, and you can also be very good with singing and music and also writing as well, especially if you have that Gemini aspect. I've noticed people who have a Gemini Taurus combination are very good writers and very good speakers. I myself, a Taurus sun with a Gemini Venus and a Taurus Mercury, and I have some Gemini, I think I have a Gemini Midhaven also. It just, that Taurus Gemini energy, like having a combination of that melodious speaking voice that Tauruses have, and also being just naturally a communicator like a Gemini, it makes you very charismatic with your speech. You could be a really good motivational speaker, really good with, you know, getting people out of the dark places in their life. You're really good with just helping people through your words, and, you know, beautiful music, beautiful poetry. You can be a very, very gifted artist also. I've noticed people who have a Venus in Taurus is just good with creativity and making things beautiful. Okay, Venus and Taurus people, they make shit beautiful. Okay, they make a house beautiful. They know how to make themselves look good. Venus and Taurus people are prone to being very possessive. They see you as theirs. Okay, but it's not like, some people hear that and they think that it makes you like this crazy, if I can't have you, no one can. Like, nah, it's not always like that. Okay, it's just more so in a sense of like, if they see you flirting with somebody, they're gonna go over there and they're gonna say something. Okay, they may not say anything right off the bat, but they're gonna stand next to you and assert their presence to let that other person that you're flirting with know she's mine. You know what I'm saying? They may not just come out and snatch you and just like, you're mine. Like, no, it's not always like that. It's just because they'll put a lot of effort into relationships and they'll devote themselves to you. And they feel that since they're doing that for you, why can't you do that for them? Why can't you devote to them since they're doing the same for you? You know, that's how Venus and Taurus sees it. They don't just see like, oh, you know, I'm just going to possess you just because you're my girlfriend or you're my boyfriend. Like, no. Like, they feel that it's deserving, and it typically is, because Venus and Taurus people, they really are dedicated as fuck, and they got you, so have their back too, because they will definitely have your back. Like, these people are the rocks. Okay, they will have your back if you need them, so just have theirs. That's how they see it. So a way through a Venus and Taurus's heart is through the senses. Okay, what is it? Touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. You know, hearing. You know. So, of course, I mentioned touch, physical touch, sex, very important to them. Know how to touch them, learn about their body, learn what pleases them. Taste, of course, good food. Venus and Taurus people love food. You know, especially a Venus and Taurus man will love a woman who cooks. He will love that. That's the way to a Venus and Taurus man's heart. Cook for him. He will value the crap out of you. Also, buy nice wine. For some reason, I've noticed a lot of people who have a Taurus in their chart, especially Taurus suns and Venus and Taurus, they have this thing with good wine, you know, and good food and good wine, expensive wine that tastes good. They just love wine. They just love that little tipsy feeling, you know. Also smell, so candles and perfumes. Smell nice. They will not forget you if you smell nice. Okay. Sound, of course, these people are very sensitive to sound, so music, soft conversation, soft melodious voices, ASMR, is it ASMR, ocean sounds, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. They like all that good stuff. Sight, so be well dressed, being in a nice environment also that looks pretty, you know. Gifts, Venus and Taurus people are also really good at giving gifts. They love giving gifts, and they're good at giving gifts. They give you gifts that are aesthetically pleasing, gifts that you need as well. They give you gifts that are really pretty and really necessary. Okay, they give you gifts that they have noticed that you've been needing, or you've been complaining about it or whatever. They say, hey, I noticed you've been complaining that you needed some shelves for your living room. They give you practical gifts that add to the beauty of the environment. Venus and Taurus people prefer to be with a partner who they can build with, somebody that they can build wealth with mostly, and build a business with. I've noticed a lot of Taurus placements are very business oriented people. Okay, business is very important. They always have a little side hustle, they always making a little money, and it just comes easy to them. They just have this business like mindset. Even for myself, being a Taurus sun, I've noticed that I just naturally have a business like mindset. Venus and Taurus people have a tendency to stay in relationships with people, like relationships that don't always benefit them, you know, because they don't like being single. They just will stay in relationships even when it has died out completely, just because they have issues letting go. A lot like a Venus in Cancer. Cancer and Taurus both are very nostalgic, sentimental people, and they have a hard time letting things go. So they'll stay in a relationship even when it's not really satisfying them. People who have a Venus in Taurus are very sensual. They have this very relaxed, regal, elegant demeanor about them. Just their little subtle hand movements and the way that they move their body and the way that they talk is very calming. They're very laid back and they hate drama, but they can still be dramatic. It's weird. Like I've noticed Taurus people, Venus, Taurus, Taurus Sun, they don't like drama, but they can be very dramatic. People who have Venus and Taurus are very realistic and rational partners, and they're like I want a Venus and Taurus partner because they just seem so stable, you know, like if you need them, they got you. You're never gonna feel like that they don't have your back, you know, and they just they're people that you can look up to and people that you can feel safe around and people that you feel like no matter what, like they're gonna be there for you and they will do a lot of nice things for their partner. Like if you are theirs, they will treat you like royalty. They will take care of you. They love to take care of their partners. They love to provide for their partners. They love to make their partner feel comfortable. They want their partner to brag about them, you know. They also love praise, you know. Taurus Sun, Taurus Venus, they love praise. They love a partner who will say, look at me, I'm with Benny, and Benny, he's so great, he does so many nice things for me, and Benny bought me this vase, and Benny bought me this bracelet. They love to have partners who brag about them, and partners who are proud to have them. And they will also, you know, like to flaunt their partner around as well. They want partners who are physically beautiful, that they can feel comfortable flaunting around, and all that jazz. So, that's all for Venus and Taurus. If I left out anything, which I don't think I did, well, you know, when it comes to these things, it's always a lot more that you can say, but like I can't be making a whole hour-long video. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm doing private birth chart readings also, so my email will be in the description box below. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Bye bye, bye bye. I always sing bye bye. Let me sing something else. Venus and Taurus, Venus and Taurus, Venus, Venus and Taurus. Bye, y'all.